welcome to Craft Hags. I'm your host, Danny Hartel. Uh, and today is episode 16, and I'm gonna mute the replay because I had to set up again, completely from scratch, in my house again because we are no longer in Seattle. That's why I got to film in the WotC Studios with the amazing Pelham to help me out. That was incredible. I wish I could do it like that every time. It was so much more fun. But for 2 weeks, we will be right here, back in my house. Thank you all for bearing with me and being patient with all of the issues that are inevitably going to come up when I move around a lot. You guys are the best. But what are we doing today? I'm glad you asked. What's happening this weekend, which is where I should start, is the Stream of Many Eyes. I'm sure you have all heard about the Stream of Many Eyes. It is a huge event going on down in LA this weekend with all your favorite D&D peeps. And they're going to be unveiling a lot of new cool stuff, and they're going to be playing live on camera, and obviously what we've been doing here on Craft Hags this whole time is making a costume for me to wear to it. I knew it was happening last year, and I knew that I would really want to make something for it. It's just kind of tradition in my life at this point to make something for the stream event that goes on every summer now, it seems. I hope that's a tradition they keep up. But yeah, what we got here is the old Scrummy. We designed her from the beginning on episode 1 of this season of Craft Hags. You can go back and watch that if you missed all of our cool development and ideas and trying to figure out what she should look like. She's my character. She's my personal character that I play in home games. Her name's Scrummy. She's a gnome warlock who serves Zugdmoy, who is the demon queen of mushrooms and fungi and ooze and death and stuff. And I love her. She's a super cool queen, right? You should all serve her. But yeah, since then, just last week, I don't know if you caught D&D news last week right after my Craft Hags episode. No, that was Tuesday, wasn't it? Tuesday, right before. I get Dragon Talk and Dragon News mixed up, but they're both great. D&D News, however, is where Greg Tito spoiled that the set that they're building at the event is gonna be a set of Waterdeep. And that's freaking cool, right? But because we know that now, obviously, I want to change Scrummy a little bit so that she fits into Waterdeep. Waterdeep's a city. It's a bustling town. Which reminds me, Sirenscape is providing all the cool noises you're listening to. All I did for today's noise set was download the bustling port city sound set and then clicked a couple things. We've got a blacksmith in there, and I think some dock noises and a little bit of crowd noise, which is really perfect just for our crafting today, and you'll see why in a second. But because Waterdeep is where Scrummy will be hanging out for the weekend, she looks a little underdarky right now, right? So I think I want to city her up a little bit. But what that's going to mean is going back into Scrummy's character and why she makes some of these choices. Hi everybody who's new today or can watch today because it's a holiday. I'm really glad you're here. I see you all in the chat saying hi. Hi, you're awesome. And the Archive Plays, we haven't seen you in a long time. I'm really glad you're here. And Kaylee Joyo, it's been a minute. Nice to see you all and my usuals. I love you all equally. But yeah, so I think what we're going to be doing to get Scrummy ready for Waterdeep is also, this will be a little insight into how quickly this stuff can change. Ooh, yeah, let's get some tracing paper and kind of doodle on top of our pictures here so you can see what I mean without totally ruining what we got. Yeah, so you can totally see Scrummy through the tracing paper. So because I just got back from a 3-week work trip to Seattle, where I lived in a hotel and could definitely not do a bunch of crazy, uh, molding and casting and sculpting, and I was basically um, limited to sewing. And that's why I decided to spend those 3 weeks making a really awesome costume for Lauren Urban. She goes by Oboe Crazy. I'm not sure if she'll be in the chat today because it's a holiday, and also a lot of people are out of the WotC office, and also she has her own games going on these days. She DMs another game, which you all should go check out. I would point you there if I knew more information about it, but I don't because I'm an awful friend. I'm really sorry, Oboe Crazy. But uh, I'm really glad that we got to take those 3 weeks to put together a fun costume for her, because she'll be at Stream of Many Eyes too, and I don't know if you knew this, but Oboe Crazy plays the oboe, and she'll probably be doing that at the Stream of Many Eyes, and I'm really excited to see her share some talents of hers that we never get to see, so that's really cool. But because we lost all that time, remember how we were like, oh, it's going to be really cool to take some little jawbones and mold and cast them, or just cast real jawbones that I do have, and make them into flexible foam decorations to put on the outfit. I would really have loved to do that. However, now I've got 4 days before I fly out. So, because I also have a lot of other things going on, some I can't even tell you about. There's some surprises we've got planned for Stream of Many Eyes that none of you know about. It's gonna be, just watch. It'll be fun. But I have a lot to do behind the scenes here, so what we're gonna be doing is scrapping the jawbones. She also has some skulls on her corset here. They were just like little skulls of pets and things that she'd had in the past, and she liked keeping little mementos of things in her past, even if they're kind of gross. So we're going to be scrapping that, and instead we're going to be doing, and I know that some of you have done art of Scrummy, and I like keeping it as within that vibe as I can, so that, fan art doesn't become, obsolete once she changes her skin, like this is the Waterdeep skin for Scrummy. Special loot box, Waterdeep skin. So what I want to do is keep that kind of crisscross pattern. And I think I want to replace it with like a belt. Because like Scrummy kind of just wears things that she finds. Usually they're rotten and gross, and that's why she can wear them, is because nobody else is down for that yuck. So I think I'm going to do some sort of thing like this. Like a cross pattern that sits on top. So it'll be reminiscent of the jawbones that she might have in the Underdark, but because she's been out in the city. Also, just wearing bones in the city is maybe a little more frowned upon than it might be in the Underdark. In the Underdark, I'm sure you can't see as well, and people generally don't care because it's a scary place. But out in the city, if you're just wearing bones, I think you're going to be treated just a teensy bit differently. And maybe Scrummy is worried about impressions a little bit, and she doesn't want to get on anybody's, like, grossed out side immediately. Sometimes she wants things from people, and she has to schmooze a little bit. But yeah, so we're going to replace some of the grodier things with things she might find in like a city sewer or something. So I really like the idea of making a really big belt that she wears. That just kind of, she crosses it around her like it's a normal human-sized belt, but because she's so small, she can wear it kind of like a strap thing. But so what that's going to require from us is making a belt buckle that's extra big. So what we're going to do that out of is Warbler. Because I know how to use Warbler, I can use it really easily and quickly. It's something that's durable. I would totally love to sculpt this stuff out of clay, but I have tried to make costume decorations out of clay, and as if they get any bigger than like, quarter size, or if you're expecting them to like hold any sort of weight, it's gonna break, either gonna bonk on something and shatter. And I'm basically talking about Sculpey here. I'm sure there are tougher clays, like epoxy clays and stuff like that, that wouldn't behave that way. But I don't have any of that on hand. What I have on hand is Warbler. And if you've never heard of Warbler, it's a very expensive thermoplastic that a lot of cosplayers like to make armor out of. This is what it's like when it's not hot, but when you, here it is doubled up, obviously it's much more sturdy. And after you've melted it with the heat gun, it just becomes a little more rigid. But until then, it's kind of just like a sheet of plastic. That's all it is. So we'll be making the belt buckle out of Warbler. And then instead of doing the whole cloak, I think what I want to do is find like an old boot and like it'll kind of look more like this maybe. I kind of want to make it look like she found somebody's old boot in the sewer and like cut off the foot part, so like maybe there will be like some little buckles that would be on like a boot or something. I'll lift this up so you guys can see. And that's something I can do really quickly too. Like I can just go to Walmart and literally find like a $20 pair of boots. They're not going to be real leather, obviously, and that's fine because I'm ripping them up. I mean, I could go to Goodwill if I want to spend even less money, and I'm not worried about foot fungus of other people all over my arms or something. But I think that could be a really fun and quick way to bring in more of the city garbage vibe. And then her hand will be free down here. Just to give you an idea. And then we'll have the mushrooms on the shoulder. Oh! I got off. Now everything's crooked. Whatever. But anyway, and I'm going to do that on one arm. I think I might do a couple more bracelets on this arm or something just to fill in the negative space. But in addition to this costume that I was not even planning, that I was lucky enough to have happen last week, was I got a tribute to Zugtmoy tattoo. Like, for reals? It's only 4 days old now, and I really want to showcase this because it is basically a tribute to Scrummy and all of the cool stuff that she's, you know, helped me develop in my life. I've developed like a cool new sense of self by getting to play her sometimes, and also just being able to build a new character that's like a version of me. So I really just wanted to put like a little tribute of Zuggy on my body, and here it is. It's still fresh and it hurts very much. But yeah, if you Google Zugtmoy, on the wiki article it says that the symbol of Zugtmoy is a jawless skull with blooming mushrooms coming out from underneath of it. So I sketched this thing a long time ago, and I showed it to my friend Alex Branwin. She's an amazing artist, and also she happens to be an experienced tattooist, and decided to offer me a spot to get this tattoo, and oh my god, I love it so much. She's amazing. Thank you, Alex Branwin, so much. It's freaking gorgeous, and it fits this whole costume so perfectly. And it's even gross and crusty and a little bit gooey right now, so it's like very on theme for Scrummy. Even though I know you didn't want to know that. So we're going to be getting rid of the cloak. There will be no big cloak. We're going to be in LA. I don't need a cloak. It's going to be warm. So I'll have this whole arm exposed, except for maybe a couple bracelets. This arm will be like a repurposed boot. And then, so what we have to do today is make this belt thing. It goes around the top. But yeah, everybody in the chat's figuring out that the noises are coming from Sirenscape. It looks like... But doesn't it sound like the audio feed is being distorted? Yeah, if you're having problems with the audio, please let me know. if it's annoying, I can figure out what part of Sirenscape is being annoying. Because some of those sounds, they'll loop or they'll like run louder or softer, and sometimes they get weird. So let me know if there's like a weird part. But the parts in there that are blacksmith related, you'll hear some dinging. That's because, where's my phone? That's because oh my god. There's my phone. I'm organized. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been looking through some hand-forged belt buckle ideas, and I found this one. I really like it. It's definitely hand-forged. I kind of want it to look water-deepy, like it might have been made by a blacksmith in the town, or, you know, someone somewhere made it. But like all the newish belt buckles that we wear today, like I'm sure they had things that looked like those in history, but I definitely want to pick a design that is reminiscent of fantasy and also history. And I think this is a really cool shape. Also, I can make this out of Warbler so easy. Like, so freaking easy. So it says there is a, let me change the Sirenscape, guys. I'm so sorry. Here, let's turn off street noises. And business in the streets. This is the cool part about Sirenscape, is if there's one track that's annoying, you can just take it out, or you can turn it down, or you can put it in with something else. I turned off 2 of the 4 sounds on Sirenscape, so let me know if that fixes it. If not, we can just turn Sirenscape off too. My computer has already thrown several fits this morning, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's messing with our audio, because it does that. So yeah, what we're going to do really quick is trace this out so that I don't have to keep my phone up. And plus, I really think that this is something that Scrummy would see and say, like, that looks cool. She likes, like, spindly, naturally looking things. Alright. Crystal says it's in the wave noise, so I just turned off the dock noises. Tell me if that works. We'll get this. We'll get this, you guys. You guys are really great sound people, by the way. Thank you. So this is going to be the part that twists. Yeah! And then so what we have to do, this is the part you don't see on the belt buckle, is we have to make a bar that goes across like that. Yay! Everybody says it's fixed! This is a brand new sound set, so I've never tried it out yet, and it probably has bits or pieces that my computer really doesn't like, so thank you for being an awesome sound crew audience. You're great! So what we gotta do is, first we gotta cut some wire. First thing with Warbler is that it looks great and it can be strong, but if you're hoping it holds any sort of weight, you're going to want to back it up with something stronger. Usually when you're making armor, you'll make a foam base and then you will sandwich it in Warbler, so you've got like a hard shell, but the foam is what's keeping the shape. So what we're going to do is make some wire here. And we got to remember that this is going to be a big belt buckle, because if this was a man-sized belt buckle and she found it, it's going to look a little big on her. I think Scrummy is supposed to be like, I want to say like 3.5 to 4 feet, somewhere around there, so pretty small. We're going to pinch this wire, and this is just like 12 gauge armature wire or jewelry wire. Nothing super strong or anything. Like, obviously I'm bending it with my fingers. But I'm just going to double it up, and it's just going to serve as the core of our belt buckle here. Just for some added strength. I know, Alana, sorry, all those letters look the same from far away. Alana S says that it's too bad because the waves were really a nice noise. And yeah, the blacksmith noise can be a little annoying. We'll see if we can find a different sound set here in a second. Let's just get moving on this. So this might be a little long. Like if this is the size of a normal belt buckle, and it kind of is. Obviously all this is pretty extra, but so yeah, that's going to be quite a bit bigger if that's the width of this pin. But let's hold it up to my body. Like if this is the width of the buckle, seeing like how much room it takes up on my chest. That's actually not bad. Like if it were like one big round shape, it would be about that big. And that's not too much. Like I still have a lot of room on my body, so I'm not like being buried by it. Yeah. I'm a little scared of that size, but it looks okay, I think. But yeah. Let's see. Somebody say something in the chat. It hasn't moved in a while. We're just having all the technical difficulties today, aren't we? This is great. This is great, you guys. It's great. So then we also need to make a... Oh, test. Thank you. Thank you, person. See, this has happened to me in the past where, like, nobody was talking for a minute, and then it was really because it was broken. And then I went on for, like, 20 minutes just talking, and I was like, maybe they all left. I'm so sorry. What did I say? So the other thing is, we don't have to make it the exact shape. Maybe I want to make this more like an oval. Nah, let's just do it like this. Okay. So we want this pin to be pretty strong too. Ooh, yeah. The Jonathan is doing... The John Nathan. Jonathan? John Nathan? Whatever your name is. Thanks for doing the math for me. Yeah, so this part, though, is going to be a little more interesting because on belts, this pin has to be able to move. So, we're going to leave kind of like a gap about that big to go around. Then we'll pinch it there. And twist. We do want it to be pretty straight, too. Unless this is like just a completely broken garbage belt that Scrummy found somewhere. Which would be fine, too. That's the other cool part, is when you're like, when you're designing for a D&D character, if you mess up, you can just, like, write something into their character's backstory to make it make sense. It works okay. So yeah, we've got, that's a really long pin. We don't need it to be that long. Let's do that. Ooh, there we go. Cool, so that looks like a good amount of hardware, and that's pretty strong now that it's twisted together. So now we gotta get to the Warbler part. Alright. It's about to get all hot and sweaty in here. I was joking on Twitter that this is exactly like blacksmithing because we have a heat gun. even though it's not anything like blacksmithing. But, pro tip, if you want to play with Warbler, you're going to find that mainly anything that you put it on, table-wise, is going to melt, or it'll bubble, or it'll, stretch or disform in some way. I have ruined a few cutting mats because I was heating Warbler and I just forgot to put something down. A really cool cheat, though, I've found is just to find like a really old, like, cookie sheet or something that's raised. That way all the heat is not actually sitting on the table. It does get hot under there, and you do want to make sure you're not melting anything underneath. Just pay attention to what you're doing, guys. But yeah, so this is all just scrap Warbler that I've got. We aren't going to cut a new sheet or anything. And we're just going to start heating. Phew, and it stinks. So we're going to open the door. Pew. Ugh, 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 it stinks. One time I did this, I turned on a heat gun in a hotel room thinking, there's no smoke or flame or anything, so I definitely can do this in a hotel room, right? No! As soon as I turned on the heat gun, like 5 seconds later, the alarm went off in the whole hotel, and it was a nightmare, and I was there alone for the day, and all the cleaning staff was around, and I turned off the gun really quick, found some pan and was just like waving the alarm thing. And like, I don't know what kind of chemical, like fumes are coming off of this thing. It's totally, I'm sure there's some sort of fume that it picked up because it kind of stinks. There wasn't smoke or anything. I wasn't putting anybody in danger, but man, I was embarrassed. And luckily, nobody ever came into my room to check and see what was wrong, which was super weird. Because in the past at that hotel, like, somebody will make toast in the morning and burn it, and then, it's obviously happening at like 5 a.m., so the whole hotel's thing went off, and you all have to leave. And I really didn't want to do that to anybody. Even though it was like 2 in the afternoon. It wouldn't have been that bad, right? Unless you're a napper. Then I probably really bothered somebody. I'm definitely a napper. Oh, look, there's a little hair. That's what stinks. Burning hair, guys. Oh, thank you. I see. I'm glad some of you aren't disappointed in the quality of this show. I try my best. I really do. But so look, it's all like ooh, melty, and it'll cool down really quick. So what we want to do is wrap this up. And it is warm on my fingers, in case you're wondering. Some people like to wear gloves when they mess with Warbler. I really don't. The Warbler takes texture really easily, so if you have like lines on your gloves, it'll get left on the... I mean, you can even leave fingerprints on Warbler if it's hot enough. And I definitely don't want to be adding like weird lines and stuff. Now the wind's closing doors. Sounds like it's haunted in here. I'm gonna close this or it's gonna bang again and scare it. I hope you guys think this is still a great show. Anyway, so we've got, look at how solid this is now. Like, I can't even, it's still warm, so I can bend it a little bit, but it'll get harder, and like, it's kind of wonky and stuff, but like, we're going for like a hand-forged blacksmith look, right? So, also, this isn't gonna be seen at all. This part is gonna be the part that's literally wrapped in belt. So it's okay if it's really ugly. We'll spend a good amount of time making it pretty on the other ones, but let's make sure that this still fits. Gotta get our benders. Or as people like to call them, pliers. People are talking to me. How dare people try to talk to me while I'm craft hagging. So yeah, I'm just bending this into a bigger circle because this won't go through anymore. But yeah, look. Whee! So yeah, if this is our belt, this is the part that goes through the hole. I'm making a lot of hand motions on this one. I gotta stop that. So yeah, if as long as it can go up, it's kind of hard. Maybe we should let's do this. Let's heat this up again. This is the cool thing about Warbler too. If you like really mess it up, you can probably heat it up again and try to do better. That's warm. That's warm. Oh, it's warm. Ah! Just leave that running for a second. Hopefully it doesn't burn the camera, which is up there. But yeah, so let's find something to roll this out with, if not just our fingers. So I'm just really trying to get all the air out of it because it is just wrapped around the wire. But yeah, it becomes very moldable like clay. You can do so many things with it. Super cool. And then if you have like a lot of really ugly seams, when you're working with Warbler, there's a lot of ways you can coat it so that it looks nice. Plasti dip is something people really like to mess with. It does a great job of coating it. If you want to fill seams, like silicone caulking, like you would use on your bathroom fixtures and stuff, that works really well. You can just kind of wipe it in and then you paint over it. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Especially if you get into prop forums and stuff, you will see people have a lot of opinions about their favorite way to fill all the gaps and stuff, because especially like if you're trying to do detail work, you'll be able to see seams, because it's like Play-Doh, you know, it's not like it's not just gonna make really pretty lines all the time. So now that I've thinned it out, oh yeah, way better. So yeah, we'll turn this off, because this part's gonna be a little weird. Now we have to figure out how to coat this thing. Maybe that will work. What we have to do is coat it without thickening the ring part. So I guess let's just try this little strip here. You definitely don't want to overheat it, or else it just becomes like molten lava that wants to stick to your fingers, which is really unpleasant. So what I'm going to do here ow, 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 ow. I'm going to roll it from one side like that. It's still very hot, but you can kind of see that the pin's in there, right? So we're going to wrap that. We're going to get the end of this pin nice and thick so that it looks really big and bulky. But then we want to make sure that this part is still free. So we're going to find some little scissors here. Quickly snip all this off, all this excess. And now it's getting crusty again, which means it's too hard. So we're going to heat it up a little bit more. Thank you, Crystal, and everyone else who are helping newcomers understand what I'm even doing. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, for anybody who's just now joining us, we have some last-minute adjustments to do before the Stream of Many Eyes this weekend in LA, which is a huge D&D event I'm sure you've heard of, and if not, please go check it out. I think you can go to www. No, never mind. I don't know. I think it's like dnd.com/SOME or something like that. Actually, what you should do is go to the D&D Twitter where they have been tweeting about it non-stop. You will definitely find a link there. So yeah, we've got a cool little pin happening here. Before it gets too warm, let's make sure. Yay, it moves! It moves. I'm really excited, especially to see how much we can get this to look like hand-forged iron or steel or whatever it is. Yeah, thank you for trying to send the link. I know links are blocked for most people on the stream. You guys are being so helpful. Or you're trying to. I really appreciate it. But yeah, look at this. Now we have a fully functional pin. This is just going to serve as like the hardware that goes through the belt. Ignore my screen. It's my Guild Wars character, and he's really pretty. But yeah, so now we've got this pin made, the part that goes through the holes, and then we've got the little bar that holds the belt leather on. So now we have to make this curly outside. We're going for a super hand-forged, medieval look. It's going to be really cool. Crystal, I see you working hard to get a link people understand. Oh, you guys are so cute. But so yeah, let's look really quick again at that pin. It is just like a straight cylindrical pin. Nothing crazy about it. It definitely should look a little bit cleaner, though, is what I'm taking from it. This looks, you know, like something, but nothing really beautiful. I don't know, maybe we want to keep it that way, because the rest of the Warbler is going to be very rough, you know? I see the Archive Play is saying, Idle thought, if we have Scrummy and... What if we have Scrummy and Rosie in the game as Jox Machina, they will appear to be scaled correctly. Stop it! That's so funny! Oh my god! Yeah, Kate and I are not short people, but if we stood in there, we would look most like our characters uh, than we usually would. I mean, that's hilarious, and I think we're totally gonna try to set up a picture of that now. I need to write that down. Talk to Kate. Pick Jocks. Yes, I'm actually so freaking excited for Jocks Machina. Yeah. Somebody says it looks like Twisted Wrought Iron. You're right. I mean, that's kind of what I was going to say after I got distracted. But you guys are really good at distracting me, and I love it. But yeah, I mean, especially if we paint that up, like it's the correct shape, I guess. So with paint, we can really fake it and make it look like Twisted Wrought Iron. Like you can paint corners on there that don't exist and just trick the eye. I think let's just stick with that and move on and see how much of this we can get done. So yeah, now we need to make this curly part. So we'll set that to the side for now. I think what we're gonna do here, just to try to get it as beautiful as possible, is cut strips. That way, when we roll it up later, it'll look a little bit nice, maybe? We'll see. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit. This is taking a minute. I'm impatient. So let's see. Oh yeah. Oh man. Beat Crushers says I should try to do a forced perspective photo with everybody who's small. You're right. I should. You are sure correct. So what I'm going to do here is kind of just roll it up. As best I can. We'll see what the thickness looks like too. It might not even be anywhere near thick enough, so we'll see. I really love all your guys' ideas for Stream of Many Eyes. And by the way, I will be flying back from the Stream of Many Eyes on next Monday when I should be doing this stream. So I will be talking to the guys at D&D to see if I can reschedule that for that Tuesday. Instead, usually that works out when I miss a stream. They don't mind. This is gonna be funny. So that's not long enough to do one big thing. And we definitely want to try to keep it as... Maybe we can make it into this shape easier. Yeah, let's try that. The fewer seams we have on this thing, the better it's going to look, the easier it will be to clean it up and make it look awesome. Because you can always push Warbler together to make a bigger shape, but that does create a lot more work if you want it to not have like big obvious seams and stuff. Whew, that is warm! So yeah, let's take a look at our thing again. See what it looks like. So yeah, it definitely tapers all the way over there. If you look real close at the photograph, you can see all that. It needs to be much thinner. So what we're gonna do is take this and go like, whoop! Oh my god! But then it just becomes really small and pliable and lovely. Ha 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 ha! It already kind of looks like it, you guys! It's working! I'm excited. So yeah, what we'll do is just kind of press this on top so that the ugly seam is on the bottom. We want to make sure that spiral stays all nice and pretty too. But then we're just gonna... yeah, we'll just cut this because that's not really going to be of much use to us. And then we'll heat up the corner right here where it's going to touch. We'll heat up, woo! Not my fingers. We'll heat up the bottom where it's going to overlap. And lift it up. Ow! It's very warm. Whew. Whew, it's warm, you guys. Oh, what I'm working with is Worbla, W-O-R-B-L-A. There's a lot of knockoff versions of it for cheaper. There's a lot of knockoff versions of it for more expensive, if that's what you want. It's just thermoplastic if you are looking for other brands of the same thing. But yeah, it does, if you want the jumbo sheet, which is a lot of Worbla, it's going to cost about $80 for a whole sheet. Probably like 6 feet long by, 4 feet wide, maybe. But yeah. Hello, person, who wasn't expecting crafts. We're making costumes for the D&D event that's coming up soon. But that's what we do on this show every week. So, unforeseen problem. I accidentally heated up the pin that we made earlier, and it kind of got soggy and stuck, so gotta fix that now. But yeah, what we're doing is we're making this really cool belt buckle. It's for my character, but we're making it a little bit bigger, as in a lot bigger, because the character I play is a gnome, and if she just found this ugly man's belt, in the sewer, or maybe she stole it off a drunk guy who was passed out on the sidewalk, you never know. But yeah, we're making a belt buckle that was a man's belt buckle for Scrummy, my character, who's a gnome warlock. Uh-oh. Come on, little pin, go back on now. There we go. Yes, it still works. The other funny part about this is that because this pan is made of metal and we're heating up all the Worbla on the metal, sometimes it like retains heat and keeps it warmer. So like you can use that to your advantage if you want. But it's still pretty wobbly over there, so we want this to cool off so that it gets warm or hard. There's a lot of descriptions being thrown around here. I'm sorry. So now we got to make the other curly Q. So yeah, it needs to go like this. So let's actually measure this time and see how long that little curly needs to be, just to get an idea. So about 13 inches long. So we can make sure we're... Oh, look at that! Ah, that's almost 13 inches. So we'll cut a big, thick piece of this. And then we might be able to do this all in one go. If not, we can always... Ooh, actually, I'm going to move this over here because that was the problem last time. I heated it up on accident, all the good stuff we've done. Lockark, I'm so glad that you are here enjoying craft streams, because that's what we do here. We are actually going to be painting minis for the last 3 episodes of Craft Hags. That will be not next week, but the week after, and then after that, and after that. So, coming up soon, all we're going to be doing is painting minis and joking around with people in the office, and it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully we don't need any stitches, though. I'm actually really excited to be painting minis with my friends at the office. It's going to be so much fun. Because I've only painted a couple minis in my life. And I wouldn't say they turned out, like, real awesome. But... So we're just rolling up the Warbler. Letting it do its little thing. And it sticks to itself. It's so cool. This stuff's so cool, you guys. So what we need to do is taper off one end and then twist. We gotta do all those little twists, you guys. We'll see how that turns out. It's okay. Here's our buckle. We gotta turn it like that. But that's way too thick. Oop. This side's actually a little better. There's a seam on the other side, and if we can just skip having to deal with the seam, that'd be really cool. So all I'm doing is taking the end of the Warbler and going, and then it makes a really nice little tapered edge, and then you'll have to kind of puff it back up, but then it just curls up really nice. Let's see how this is arranged again. So this has to be basically a perfect circle. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but if we want it to look like the picture. So that's about where that's gonna sit. And then we twist. This may or may not work. I did hear there's going to be an actual blacksmith at the Stream of Many Eyes, and now I'm nervous that he's going to see this garbage. Oh, hey, Obo Crazy's here! We haven't only been talking about you this whole time or anything. Not at all. So yeah, now what we gotta do is heat up all the connecting points without getting our pin melted again, without melting the phone. So yeah, we flip, we push. Ah! It pops, scares me every time. Yeah, man. Look what we did! Oh my god. I can't believe it. We just did that in an hour, you guys. I mean, like, for freaking sake. Good lord. Okay. There are people calling me geniuses, and you're nuts. This really wasn't that hard, you guys. Hey, now that it's all together, uh, you didn't hear it, but I clapped. Thank you. Yeah, let's leave this set down for a minute so it doesn't, like, warp into a crazy shape because I'm picking it up too much. I'm gonna scoot that way a little bit. I'm gonna control the shape it's making. But yeah, right? You got a moving pin. This will be able to hold leather. Hey, while that cools, because we don't want to pick it up and go crazy until it's cool. It even almost looks exactly like wrought iron already, because it's just like black, moldy, plasticky stuff. I'm actually going to hit this right here so that these two pieces stick together and don't move, because they're trying to stick together already. We might as well just help them out, right? Just hit them with a teensy bit of heat. And then go boop. And that'll give it just a tad bit more strength too, which is awesome. Oh, this worked out so well, you guys. But yeah, so that's why I really like Warbler. You can just bust out, I mean, especially if you don't need anything super precise, you can bust something out so quick. So we're going to set that over there. We don't need our hot pan anymore. And we don't need all of this garbage anymore. Clean up a little bit so we can breathe and think. We need a boop emote. How heavy is it? Somebody asked. Like super not. I don't know how many fifths of a pound, but it's pretty light. I would say it's the same weight as like a, no, it's even lighter than that pair of scissors. It's about the same weight as this pair of scissors, if that helps. Oh, this tea is good, especially because it's in this mug. You want to do some ASMR, guys? That's how that works, right? Whoa! So, next stop on the belt list here is making the whole, you know, the rest of it. This part, the part that's going to sit around my shoulders. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, you just lay your tracing paper on your character that you're changing. It's going to look like that on me. We want it to sit kind of where those jawbones were going to be, but because she has left the Underdark and she's in a city now, we want to add some city-esque stuff. So yeah, we got to make the rest of the belt now. But we got to make sure it fits into our new belt buckle. So how many inches is the width going to be? We're going to do 3.5 inches wide on this. And then, we got to find some leather to make it out of. Leather. I kind of want it to be comfy, and we kind of want it to be a little bit drapey, just because it's going to be sitting on my shoulders. We don't want it to be like a huge, thick piece of leather that's really hard. So probably less thick than a normal belt buckle. Hey, look what I found! Here's some leather that I used on I'm drawing a blank. I'm the goddamn worst. Walnut. There we go. I had the word Warbler in there, and I was like, her name's not Warbler. But this is some really nice leather I bought for Walnut's armor. If you don't know who I'm talking about, she's a character from the C Team, and that's a D&D game that I made a bunch of costumes for on the Penny Arcade channel. They're part of Acquisitions Incorporated. Very great show. Check it out if you like watching D&D. They're all very, very funny people. But so the cool part is I already made a pattern. What? This morning I was like, oh hey, so if you take a piece of paper, here, I'll show you. I'll show you what I realized was going to happen when I did this. So here's our paper. This is how I pattern things, by the way. It's going to be a belt, right? Like a big, long, straight piece of leather, right? Well, so if I want to do that shape that we talked about, this shape, all in one piece, let's try it. See what it's doing around my neck? That's so not what we want. Like, at all. It's very uncomfortable. Kind of the worst. And it just doesn't lay the way you would hope it would, especially if it's a big belt, like this thick. Let's see if this is the right thickness. Or width, I should say. This is only 2.5 inches, so this would be even thicker by a whole inch. Definitely not gonna work, right? So what I did was I went like this. I was like, okay, so if this is, it wants to look like this, I want it to sit about this far out. It needs to point down to go under my armpits, right? And then I went. Just make it flat. This is the secret to pattern making, you guys. Take it all in. So once it's all mashed down, nice and hard, you guys are probably like, what? Take it off, and you can kind of start to see like what the shape you're gonna want to cut out is. Even obviously, if it's nowhere close to being correct yet, you can at least see the shape you're gonna want, right? It's gonna look like this when you cut it out. But let's make it nicer. What I did was I already figured out the length and everything. This is the big sheet though. So basically what we need is before it overlaps itself, you lay it flat. And so it looks like we can get about this much of that shape. Flat, and then we'll cut out another piece that's flat for the rest of it, and then we'll find a way to hide it so that it all looks like one big piece. Crystal says, wouldn't it be easier to wrap it around your shoulders? Yeah, I really wanted to try for this shape that makes the X, though. Like in the front of my chest, and then in the back it'll just be like a little halter top thing. Yeah, there are easier ways to have done this for sure. If I'm understanding you correctly, we definitely could have just started with an easier thing. But I really want to try to get this like belt shape that just looks like a belt without it like standing up like a belt really would. We're kind of tricking the eye here into thinking that she just found a belt and it happens to lay perfectly on her. But yeah, hide the joint in the back. Yeah, exactly. Right, you would wrap it long ways like a super long belt. Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could do this. I'm definitely going for like the it looks cool, but it wasn't easy sort of approach here. But yeah, so what we have to do basically is try again on this pattern with the correct width. So we want 3.5 inches here. So let's take a little Sharpie. So yeah, I'm just taking that like 3.5 inch width and kind of turning it. Oh, this itches quite badly. But then obviously this is going to be a little bit trickier. We're going to want it to curve in a nice way. So let's get a new piece. Doop doop doop. Ooh. We'll trace it out here. We'll just make a big tracing of the shape. Kind of looks like I'm making a toilet seat. But I'm not, I promise. So we're just going to make sure it's 3.5 inches all the way around so it looks really uniform. And that's basically how I start with a lot of my pattern making. Is I'll just put some paper on the form that I'm trying to cover, and like just start messing around and cutting and taping and just getting a general idea of the shape. And then you can redo it, make a better pattern. And there's probably way better ways of doing it, but I've only self-taught so much. So we're winging it, you guys. So let's see if this looks any better. There we go. All right, put it on my bod. Yeah, look at that. There's a cord in the way here, so it won't lay perfectly flat. But then in the back, you can see It's laying pretty well. When I crisscross them even farther, you can see that they lay down really nicely on my shoulders. It doesn't bunch up back here. And then the rest of the belt will just go behind my back and then up through my other armpit. The end! So yeah, let's and then that way it'll lay really flat. It'll be really nice to wear. This piece of paper is stuck to the ground. Let's get rid of this garbage. Oh no, it says we're dropping frames. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Twitch, I'm glad to hear it's Twitch. I have a couple dropped frames on my end, but not that many, so I don't think it's me. But as always, thanks for giving us a heads up when things are getting weird, you guys. Twitch is twitchy. Wow. It sure is. And this was the other piece of our pattern for the rest of the length. And this is just a guide for cutting our leather, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Alright. So let's see what we're doing here. I'm pretty sure this thing attaches there. So let's tape it. And test it out. Yeah, right before I turned this on today, my internet went out completely for about 20 minutes. Like right at like 11:10, so like 50 minutes before I was supposed to start, and I thought there wasn't going to be a show at all. Technology's great, you guys. The best. So yeah, this is the part that goes around my neck. And it crisscrosses over. If I can find it. Oh no, it's too short! Hey, good thing we didn't just trust it, right? There's a good portion missing. So let's cut some more. This is why we test before we cut. Because we are humans and we make all the mistakes. Let me see if I have... Yeah! Here we go. Rotary cutter. Let's do it like this. How many inches? 1, 2, 3.5. That should be enough excess. Way quicker! So... let's tape it on here. Alright, let's try it one more time. Okay. What happened? Oh, it was crooked, I think. No? It wasn't crooked. I was just dumb. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Whoop! It fits! So then let's decide where this belt buckle's gonna go. Check the back. Oh, nice and flat. Oh, that's so lovely. It does stick up just a little bit on the sides, but that's because it's paper. Okay, so what we have here, let's tape this on so I don't have to hold it. Okay, this is my cool belt thing. She looks like she's gonna go into battle with this thing on or something. But yeah, so let's figure out where this is gonna go. Right there looks pretty cool. But then, I've got a situation with the pin where it's gonna poke me in the arm. So let's try it this way. That actually looks pretty cool. Yeah! I like that. I like it. Okay. Let's just try it one more place, just to see if... Ooh! I like that for sure. It's kind of like a heraldry pin or something. It makes me look important, even though this is garbage. It does kind of hit my neck a little bit, but it's not a part that bothers me, so... And then if that pin is sticking up that way, there's very little chance of me hitting people with it when I hug them, too. That's the other thing, is I always try to, like, think about when I see people I'm very excited to see, which always happens at these events, and I'm wearing a bunch of weird stuff. I'm going to be like, hey! So you got to do a test hug. It does kind of get pushed up into my neck, but I'm okay with that. I can deal. So then, yeah, what we need to do now is find that Sharpie. We're going to make a big... Try not to draw on my clothing. So that is going to be where I drew a line. That's going to be where it folds over and tucks into our buckle. Which means this part needs to be longer to fold over. So I guess what we're going to do now is cut this without cutting my face. Okay. So if this is where the belt buckle is, that means that the thing that goes through it needs to have excess enough to go through the whole belt buckle. So I'm just going to tape that to my shirt really quick. And so let me show you what I'm thinking with the rest of this. Let's say we need a little thing. Let's make the end of it look like a belt end so that we can kind of start getting an idea. So yeah, this will go in like this. Paper. And then we'll stick our hole in there. And then this will go under the rest of the belt. Right? That's how belts work. Obviously we want this to be a little bit longer. Let's actually fix that right now. We'll cut one more little bit here. I'm not even going to measure this time. Because I'm crazy. How far off are we? Oh my god, we're pretty darn close. Whee! So yeah, we'll cut this. We'll get our little holes. So yeah, this is what the belt will look like. It'll go in from the top. We'll choose a hole. I think belt mechanics are some of the most difficult things I've had to figure out. Costuming. Oh my god, I love it! Okay, so if that's gonna line up right there, gotta find the back of our thing again because it fell off. Oh wait, it's right here. Right here. So yeah, it is still technically a functional belt. It's only gonna fit shoulders, but you know. Hang on, I'm trying to think while I figure out. Where this is supposed to go. Just gonna tape this. Alright. Got it. I'm gonna rip off this excess here. But yeah, this is how this is gonna work. This part will actually be stuck to the belt buckle. But yeah, it will be a technically functional belt. It will just be like a weird figure 8 shaped belt that only goes around my shoulders. But yeah, I'm having a little bit of a problem understanding your question. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. In the back, it's got, you know, it wraps around the back kind of like a tube top would, or you know, like a halter top. I'm basically making a halter top without the shirt on the bottom. The rest of this, all this complexity is really just to make it lay flat. But yeah. So I will be able to take it off like so. Which is pretty cool. And now look! We get rid of all the awful stuff that doesn't help us anymore. We have got a perfectly sized pattern that will look great on my body. So now I just have to figure out how to cut this shape out of leather. We also need to remember that we need about this much extra on the end, and we need to cut a hole right here to go where this pinhole goes. You'll see. You'll see. So we do need to add. Let's just make a note. Add how much? Let's say 3 inches to fold back. You do want enough that you can like pin, so we'll do 3. I forgot I'm writing too fast. So we need to add 3 inches there, but let's see if it'll fit on our... Hey, do you guys want to see my, you guys want to see the floor while I do this? Getting a really good look at my messy room today. Ugh. So here's the leather. We just have it splayed out on the floor. So let's see if we can even get this pattern to fit completely on this piece. Luckily, this is a massive piece of leather, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. Yeah, you guys can see. So like if we lay that flat, it works. Now, the other thing is we definitely don't want to just throw this in the middle and then cut right out of the middle of the leather, because leather is pretty expensive. I want to see if we can make it work without wasting a ton of it. But yeah, we don't even have to cut separate pieces. In fact, I think it wouldn't hurt to just adjust this angle here so that we can get one big straight piece. Can you guys still see me? Oh my god, you can see me! This is cool. So I'm just taking a Sharpie because I'm doing this on the back of the leather. You're never going to see the back of the leather. I'm just gonna... trace around my big pattern in Sharpie right on the leather. I think I do want to make this little point longer because it makes for a really cool shape that kind of flows around on my body. You know, drapey stuff looks cool. That rule. We all know that rule. That's why we cape and cloak and hood. Those blacksmithing noises really are making me feel legit. And then a couple more inches this way. Cool! Now we can get rid of that. Now we have to start cutting. Well, hey, that was a nice little field trip to my room. Fix this camera. Best show ever, right? But yeah, hope that was fun. So I'm gonna start cutting. And I'll probably do a lot of distressing on this belt too. I'm gonna hit it with some sandpaper. Probably some staining. We want to make it look like somebody may have thrown it away, or maybe this was found on a drunk person on the sidewalk or something, and you know, their belt isn't going to be especially beautiful either. So whatever the situation was that Scrummy found this belt, it's going to have to be pretty ugly. Move my heat gun. Yes, Scrummy is a gnome. Thank you for asking. And if any of you like to craft and you end up cutting a lot of heavy-duty things, I definitely recommend getting a pair of these multimedia scissors. These are Fisker's brand. They cut through just about anything that you wouldn't need like tin snips for. I really like them, and then you can just get the sharpener that Fisker's makes as well. Sharpen it up every time they get dull, because they do get dull all the time. And your hands get tired. Whew. Might need to take a break halfway through this, because this is hard. I'm gonna get leather in my tea. Can I left-handed cut? Is that a thing? Nope, these are not left-handed scissors. Or, nope. Will the rotary cutter not work on leather? It would, but you'd have to go over it like a bajillion times, because this is super thick leather. That's why we're using the strong scissors. And plus the rotary cutter is really nice for really exact edges, but not really thick edges. And we don't really need exact for this anyway. I wish they would make like a... I mean, they do. It's called the table saw. That's like a heavy-duty rotary cutter. Wouldn't leather in the Wouldn't leather in the tea change it to broth? Yes, you're correct. And that sounds delicious. Makes me think of like miso soup. I'm just gonna cut this piece off. Dear God! I'm not even done. I have to do this other edge. But at least I don't have to hold the big piece of leather anymore. If you had the workspace, a head knife is probably your best bet. I don't even know what a head knife is. I'm gonna look that up. I am interested. Ugh. Hopefully, after we move soon, which will be this summer, I will be picking out a house with much more workspace. We've been making do in this teensy little house. My husband and I both work from home, so it can be quite the nightmare. But yeah, I look forward to having the space to maybe try out a head knife. And I'm not really worried about getting this super exact either, because we can always go back and cut more off if it was too big, or if the lines weren't straight enough, or whatever's bothering us. But look, it's done! Okay. Do. Thanks for the subscription, Banjo Wind. Yeah, look at this. So it is backwards, which is okay. But then once it goes on, it'll look like this. And it's a little bit long because I added a bit much to add that belt. You can just fold that back and it'll look like that. And obviously this is very clean for scrummy, but like look at how nicely it sits in the back. No crazy bulging, bubbling, whatever. So now I gotta figure out where this goes. You're right there. Okay, so this is, I've pinched it where we need to fold it. But so yeah, I'm gonna, let's see if we have any leather working materials. I'm gonna make a small dot right here so we know where that hole needs to go. But let's see if we can get our leather tools. So this is just a leather punch. We're gonna set it to the biggest one. Which may definitely not be big enough, but we'll see. We'll see. What we're gonna do is punch the hole, if we can. I don't know if we can, you guys. Our punch isn't long enough. So yeah, maybe this is more of a knife situation. So this is just like a little leather carver. No big thing. Very sharp, very scary. So I'm just gonna, let's double measure this before we cut it. What happened to our measuring tape? Oh, there it is. Found it. So this is bigger than 3.5 because I wasn't very careful. So let's cut this one more time. Cutting. How did this get so off? That's hilarious. Oh yeah, because I was in a hurry. Wow. And we are cutting this on the inside of our curve. So if anything, it'll just give us more room in the neck area, which is fine with me. I'm really excited because this belt's gonna look like really old and ugly and like beat. Can't wait. I'm gonna have a strong hand after this. Oh yeah, see down here it's fine. Only got off a little bit there. Let's see how the rest did. Oh cool! It's much closer, and none of that matters anyway. What we want is to make sure it goes through. Let's make sure it goes through right now. It sure does! There's so much room! Look at that! So I've made a little mark here for where our thing's gonna go, and let's just hold this up so we know just how thick. Yeah, it needs to be about that thick. Let's measure again just to make sure we're doing it right in the middle. What's half of 3.5? I hate that crap. Look at what we do. We fold the tape measure in half. So there's where our thing needs to go. We're just gonna make like basically a hot dog shape to cut out of it. This could probably use a sharpening as well. Almost through. See how far out we are. Not bad. Maybe we can... Nope. Nope. Dim scissors. Now usually what I would do is, if I had a hole punch big enough, you would punch 2 holes and then just connect them with lines to make a really nice, like, hot dog shape, basically. Are we almost there? Still can't even see it on the back. This is really thick leather, you guys. It's really thick. Ugh. Crystal says that blacksmith sounds more like a car mechanic. Wow. Hey, for the last 20 minutes, let's get weird. How about unsettling noises? Watermill machinery! Ew. No. How about pig? Oh man. Let's try dock ambiance. Whoa. That sounds more like a water pool. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Your players get to go up against Zugmoy soon. I'm excited for that. I've actually never gotten to play against Zugmoy. I think, well, like maybe once because my DM knew I really liked Zugmoy a lot. But I would really, really love to play through Out of the Abyss for real. I love that storyline so much. But don't worry, I won't spoil it for any of you who haven't played it yet. Ugh. This is... Okay, now I'm gonna try. We're gonna use the sharp end of our scissors. I always cut myself when I do something like this. I'm really scared, you guys. Ooh, how about these? These little wire cutters? They're very sharp. Let's try that. We're most of the way through. We just need to poke through the rest of it. Ugh, leather working is hard. Yeah, I can't tell if the Sirenscape is making those noises. Or if there are actual children playing outside my door. I don't know. This leather is really just... We'll get it. We'll get it, you guys. We'll get it! I'm totally gonna, like, take off my thumb or something by accident. Then this will be a great show, right? Oh, I would love to stream with Heidi. That's a really good idea. I actually learned a lot of what I know about leatherworking from, like, watching her build, what was it? The Attack on Titan stuff that she built for her and Jared. It was really fun to watch, but like it was just the first time I'd ever seen somebody working with leather on a stream. And like obviously I knew a couple things here or there about how it goes, but watching her use all the tools and stuff was like really cool. I can definitely say that she influenced me a lot. But yeah, and plus she's super nice and awesome. So like there's that too. We almost have it. Woo! We did it, you guys! Oh, we did it. Okay. Now what we're gonna do here, which you shall see. So this part goes like that! Oh my god, we made a belt. We made a belt. We made one. We made a belt. The Temple of Elemental Evil with the Circle of 8 mod pack is a great way to go up against Zuggy. I'm gonna make a note of that. Because I don't know if I've... Anyway, yeah, look at this. We have a pin, and so what I'll do is later I'll put a couple rivets right here that hold that together, and then the other end goes in like this, and then it will also have holes that I will punch with the actual hole punch because I'm not about to do this like freaking scissor style, trying to make nice little belt holes. But then that'll go through here, and then through under that way, which will look very nice. We'll be doing a lot of staining. I kind of think of Waterdeep as like a lot of gray colors, I think. Just urban, more urban, I guess. So yeah, we'll adjust the coloring of this belt, make it fit in with the costume a little better, because obviously she's got a lot of warms and stuff, and a lot of purples, but we do want to tone her down a little bit so she's a little less naturey looking too. But yeah, I think I'm going to stop there for today. We've got about 9 more minutes. I'm not sure what all is happening on the D&D channel today. It might just be me, unless there's other people playing. It is a holiday, so yeah, I might be all there is to offer on this stream today. But stay tuned, you never know. Check out the D&D Twitter. They tweet all the stuff that's going on. My tummy's grumbly. I'm really excited for lunch. Just had to throw that in there. But yeah, thank you to Sirenscape for making all these crazy noises we get to play with. It's been super fun. I wish my computer didn't make your program look bad. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry, Sirenscape. Everybody go check out Sirenscape, especially if you need noises for your own games at home. They're definitely worth the money. And I think you get like literally everything they put out for like $12 a month. So if you're a DM, definitely check it out. Yeah, I will see you guys at the Stream of Many Eyes next. I'll be there dressed as Scrummy, the character we've been working on this whole time. And then there'll be other surprises I can't tell you about, but you need to go watch Stream of Many Eyes. It's right here on the D&D channel, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll be streaming tons of really cool stuff that you're not going to want to miss. Like, I promise, it's going to blow your minds. But so, get on that. If you want to talk to other people about crafting and D&D and hobbies and stuff like that, check out the Discord. Crystal set up an amazing Discord for us all to hang out in during the week. Just go make friends, be awesome, love each other. Yeah. So I will not see you Monday. A week from today, we will have to figure out a time on Tuesday to have craft tags, but I'm going to be doing like a recap episode. I'm going to show you all the cool stuff that happened. If the costume fell apart, I'm going to tell y'all about it and how I'm going to fix it for later. It's going to be interesting, and I might just have a glass of wine because I'll be super tired too. So, I'll see you guys all next week on Tuesday. Don't forget, Tuesday. Yeah, check us out on Instagram and Twitter. That's at Craft Hags. And I'm Danny Hartel. I'm in both those places as well if you want to follow me. But yeah, thanks. Have a great holiday and a great week, everybody. See you at the Stream of Many Eyes. Bye!